Hello and welcome to Pre-Match Focus with your host, me, Tim.
And me, Lee.
We've swapped round this week as well, I've noticed.
It looks the same. It looks the same on my side, so I don't know what you've done to it, but
you're leading the way today. Go for it.
Yeah, welcome to Pre-Match Focus with me, your host, Lee.
Me, Tim.
And Tim and his top tips.
Mate,
you might as well have to mine.
Don't want my top tips.
Can't do any worse than me, mate.
I'm joking. I tell you what, I'm just getting like a couple which are just really irritating, which are cocking everything up, like, you know, getting majority of mine right, but then I have like two which are just usually dead certains, and they're not a dead certain anymore.
Yeah, it's the end of scenes and madness, isn't it? It
seems that way, yeah.
You get it every year, don't you? I think we just both mentioned before as well that we'll both be going for a bit of a crazier week as well. So
yeah, I've definitely
let's see what we come up with.
Some madness in here. So anyway, let's start off with, we've got fixtures starting this Saturday. We're recording now on Thursday night with Burnley currently 1-0 up against the Saints, Southampton.
2-0 now, mate.
Oh, 2-0, sorry.
2-0, yeah.
Newsflash.
Right.
Yeah. We're not live.
Scored right on half time off the corner.
Right, there you go. 2-0 to Burnley, smashing it. Pulling 1 point behind Everton. So anyway, starting on Saturday, Sunday's fixtures and the one on the Monday. So let's start off with Saturday, the 23rd of April. And we've got the 12:30 kickoff. I'm not sure whether I'm going to watch it or not because I think I've given up with life. Arsenal v Man United.
Yeah, well, they text you in the week, didn't I? And I got a one-word reply, which is probably all I needed to know. Horrendous being that word, but
honestly, I was being kind as well.
I know. I don't think you wanted to go into too much details. You'd probably have pissed yourself off, wouldn't you? So,
yeah, exactly.
There's just no fight in that team. Ten Hag's got a massive job on his hand. I'm getting harassed by the kids at the door. And
let's see what they reckon.
They're probably trying to distract you from this conversation, I think.
Yeah, I think so, mate. They need to.
I mean, like people like Pogba, I mean, was his injury that legit? Is he just not up for it? And, you know, we mention him every week.
He knew you were on the back of an hiding after that 1-0 and didn't want to know, mate. Honestly, did not want to know.
Yeah. Probably the last time he's played for, we should be good riddance.
Yeah.
Even for me, not being a Man U fan, be good riddance, you know. Game
you keep hearing these little things, and honestly, the media drive me mad. But you keep hearing these little things like United ready to offer Pogba 500 grand a week contract. You're like, what? Why? How? What? How does this ever make sense? Where it's going to cause chaos amongst players because of the disparity in wages. It's going to cause chaos in the changing room. I think he's the problem anyway in that changing room. I've just got, because it seems so divided. You've probably got the Portugal clique, and then you've got the Pogba clique, and then you've got, which I reckon Rashford's in, and Jesse Lingard, and, you know.
Phil Jones. He's probably in his own clique, I think, isn't he?
He's probably in his own clique, Phil. Good lad. I'll tell you what. He should have been playing every week for me, bud.
Well, there has been issues at that back, and obviously Maguire's been the brunt of the issue, hasn't he? And he's just getting, you say he's getting picked on, but he's just not performing, is he? So, out of position all the time and making mistakes.
I mean, do you know what? I watch a lot of, obviously, as you know, Stretford Paddock stuff and Stephen Howson stuff. And Stephen Howson obviously does a lot of stuff with Rio Ferdinand, with Vibe with Five, and Joel Bayer. If anyone ever wants to log on and watch it, it's good stuff. But basically, he turned around and said about United. He just turned around and said, "There's no passion, no heart, no nothing. The basics of everything. They've packed up and gone on holiday. Everything about it's just cancerous, isn't it? You know, there just seems the transfers have been horrific. everything's been awful. Honestly, the whole thing's been so bad. You can't pinpoint just one thing where a turning point was. It's just been great. Well, there was a turning point, and obviously Ferguson did quite well with it. It was when the Glazers took over, really.
Yeah.
But it's who they got involved then to make the football decisions. And yeah, we've made a lot of money. Not that United have seen anything of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the Glazers have taken a pretty penny. And we're clearing our debt minimally. And now they're on about refinancing it again.
To add more debt for the future.
Yeah, for the stadium.
Yeah.
So stadium, training complex, all that stuff.
I mean, one promising thing, I suppose, is that Ten Hag's been given the role of manager. It's not head coach anymore, isn't it? So is he going to be more into? He's got to have been given this deal. He's got to turn around and said, "You've got to let me pick what I want here, and give me my budget."
Yeah,
because it don't take a madman to go there now, even though it's a massive job.
Well, the good thing is, it seems like because of the panic now, and it always takes for United, like last time, to fall out of the top four, to, for them to start realising. I think it was after the Moyes thing. So they gave Van Gaal some cash, didn't they? And he spent it badly. And then, yeah, it's just a mess, really. And then, but I think they're obviously promising some money somewhere along the line for Ten Hag to make a few signings.
He can't stick with that squad he's got now to achieve much.
Well,
he could get a different tune out.
What turned around and said was absolutely right. Absolutely everything he said was bang on the button. I respect him for how much honesty he gives out. He's so true to his word. It's like, and people are quick to turn on people. It's not Ranieri's fault. It almost shows how well Ollie did with this crowd, really.
Yeah.
To
be fair, yeah. He did a lot better than what we're probably giving credit for, really.
Yeah, because absolutely.
I always said they wouldn't win anything under him, but he actually steadied that ship a little bit, I suppose.
He got him to a final where they lost stupid numbers on penalties, bullied by our goalkeeper missing. And he guided us to second, which was the best in years. So,
yeah, I think maybe the players that are there wanted that type of character to not be as stern now, like make it a bit more enjoyable for themselves. But they need someone.
It's almost good that you've got like 12 players that want to leave. It's like amazing. Good, get rid of them. But who's going to sign them?
I know. For the money they're on, it's going to be tough.
For the money they're on as well, where are they going to go?
Yeah, there hasn't been no real standout performance. I mean, Ronaldo's pretty much at the end anyway. So people would still take Ronaldo. They'd snap your hand off if you could get him for a reasonable wage, wouldn't they? But anyone else,
he'd have to drop his wage demands, Ronaldo, next time, wouldn't he?
Well, I can only ever see him going to Lisbon from here, surely now, unless he does end up in America or something.
He must be realising he's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah. But
so
he's still
somewhere like Sporting Lisbon, I can see him going there for 2 seasons or something,
Yeah, I can, yeah. He's still the club's talisman now. He's still United's talisman.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. He's been brilliant, really. And he's the problem. Imagine what he'd be like with proper service. He'd just scored 40 goals this year.
He probably would. I mean, there's not many better in the world than the head than Ronaldo, is there? So, and he does take a few. I have noticed he does take a bit longer or a few more chances to put them all away these days.
Yeah, but it's like his feet aren't as quick anymore, so he always gets under his feet a little bit, and he kind of does that mad little tap thing where where you're trying to steady your feet, and it's just too slow. Whereas he used to get away dancing feet, didn't he?
He was, but look, he's one of the best at his age that's graced the pitches, and to be doing what he has been doing at his age, he will be missed when he does go out of it. But it is a shame when they come to the end of the careers. But I say, still standing out for United, really, for me. But
yeah, massively. And Arsenal, what about that last night?
Oh, one sec. Are you still there?
I'm here,
Yeah. All right. So I just had something come up on my phone, on my laptop, and I had to take the screen off it. Yeah. Well, we said on the last show, didn't we, that Arsenal are pretty much like turning into Spurs, aren't they? So that was the most Spursy thing they could have done. Is go to Stamford Bridge and win 4-2. But I was actually confident for Arsenal to win that game as well. Chelsea hadn't been in good form at home, definitely. And now they looked like they turned a little bit of a corner with the couple of good results away from home, but at home they've been pretty poor. And Arsenal seem to have a knack of getting a good result at Stamford Bridge every now and again. So, even dating back to the late 90s, remember that Canu goal?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I tell you what, Canu, he was a good one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Canu.
I do. Well, he's down at the Albion for it. I think it was him who missed from 2 yards from the Albion as well. It's quite funny.
Oh, under the crossbar, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it was him.
I'm sure it was him, yeah.
But yeah, Arsenal 3 defeats on the bounce and then come back with that. Now they're probably expected to win again because they're playing way out of sorts, United. But the pressure's back on again to it's going to be there to the end of the season. If they want to get Champions League, that pressure's got to be on them. I've gone for Arsenal to win just because of how bad United have been.
I've gone with Arsenal to win 2-1.
Yeah, bang on. Same here.
Okay. So go on then. What's your tip for this one, Lee?
I've gone for over 45 booking points or 40 booking points if you risk Sky Bet, which is probably easy to gain, really.
Okay.
And you'd only need 4 bookings for the Sky Bet one. If you was on William Hill or something, you'd need 5 bookings or 20 points for a red card.
Okay.
They're usually quite tasty ones, aren't they? Usually a few it's not like it used to be when you had Keown and Van Nistelrooy at each other.
I know it's not going to. There'll still be a bit of spice in it. It's still Arsenal United. But
Craig Pawson's the ref, I think, and he blows hot and cold with the way he dishes out his cards. But when he's on it, he's usually one of the basically.
Right then, let's move on then, Lee. So on to the first of the 3 o'clocks, which is Leicester at home to Aston Villa, Midlands derby.
Yeah, I was shocked to see how far Villa had plummeted down the table. Now they've not been in great form, but to be 14th now, and they're still technically in a relegation. They won't be, but it's not mathematically safe for them.
Till this weekend.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, this is a good chance for Villa because they've got a good record against Leicester. I mean, even in Leicester's title winning season, they were a thorn in the side of them. I don't think Leicester beat them in that season.
I've gone for Villa in this.
Have you?
I've gone for a goal fest as well.
I have got goals in mind, and you'd probably win my tip there. That'd be over 2.5 goals. But we'll see how Leicester performs. They've got Fofana back there. They've got a few lot of players that they've missed, haven't they? So
I just think this will be a really good game for Aston Villa.
It depends how they turn up because they've got to have a kick up the arse because they never really. I mean, they had a few long range efforts against Wolves, and you can't always say that they perform like they're away from home. But
yeah,
it's just the way they were set out, and I think if that's not addressed defensively, they're going to concede goals as well, especially against Leicester, pretty decent at home usually. But like I say, probably a little bit of a bogey team for them, Villa are. So I've gone for 2-2 on this one.
2-2. Oh, so that's on
2.5 goals.
I've gone 4-2 Aston Villa.
I'm still going to have to pull out some performance there to get that in.
I vision goals.
I hope there will be goals in this because it's got the potential for it. And this is what I've gone for. It's over 2.5 goals on my tip for that one.
Okay.
But they've got. I mean, like we are awaiting this Stevie G massive kick up the arse from, and it's got a.
Well, he's just done his thing with Gary Neville again on the overlap. So he's talked honestly. So you might get a bit of something out of him this weekend.
Yeah, they're going to have to, aren't they? I think they're just going to have to really. They're playing for the futures now because he will Boucher who's not pulling the weight.
Yeah, he'll change it up. Definitely.
But
they're trying to improve it all, and they've got a plan to get up.
I don't think no one's safe there. I'm talking about the old guard like McGinn and Mings and Louise. I think they're all fighting for the future. The only one who I'd say was definitely safer would be someone like Jacob Ramsey, and that's not a given, but someone will come
he likes him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a good kid, very good kid. Even Ollie Watkins been out of sorts as well. Would they be tempted if someone came with him?
Massively keen on. I think he holds the ball up well and he's lively enough, but he's not that much of a threat to me.
He's like a Dr. Water last season, but this season he's really struggled. Maybe it's just people finding him out.
People find the level, don't they?
Yeah.
And,
or he's been famed out, one of the two, I don't know.
Yeah, it's usually the case, or it's like the first season wonder, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, let's move on to the second of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, which sees Manchester City at home to Watford. And when I say goal fest, I'm saying goal fest, one-sided goal fest. But I'm going to put my neck out straight away before I talk about some of these and say 7-1.
We're going on.
City are going to really stamp some authority on this game, and also Pep's going to turn around and say, you're well behind on the goal difference. This is your chance to claw some back. Yeah.
Well, Roy, even though he's not getting the results, he won't want to make it that easy in terms of it. But when you look at the head-to-head records of recent, in the FA Cup final a few years ago, they beat Watford 6-0. Then they beat them 8-1, did they?
Yeah.
Something like 8-0.
8-0. 7-1 this time.
You couldn't put it past it. Honestly, if City turn up.
They're well up for it. They've found this extra gear again now, I reckon. You know, like when I watched them against the Brighton game, you know, it looked like they were just toying with them a bit, and then they just decided to play. And when they decided to play, it was like, boom, 3-0. And it's like, that's what they can do. Imagine Haaland there next year.
Be scary, won't it? Be scary.
The amount of times we've turned around and the games they've lost have been purely because they've not been able to put the ball in there. Purely because
they're missing a striker.
They're missing a number 9.
Yeah.
And now they're getting arguably one of the best.
Yeah, the best prodigy in the world so far. So
yeah,
better than Mbappe in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, more all-rounded, isn't he? And he just scores goals from anywhere anyway. He could actually play him in midfield. He'll probably score from those.
Oh, guaranteed. He's just a Viking. He's crazy. But anyway, so yeah, Man City doing very well. Obviously, I think they found a new gear since the Liverpool game. You know.
Yeah, that's how Brighton aren't easy to break down, and they probably took a
tough
little
game,
bit of
Brighton, you know. Tough game against Brighton.
Well, look at even though they did get results against Arsenal and Spurs, but before that, you'd never be given a given win against them, would you? Because they are a really tough team. But yeah, I mean, like once they got the first goal, it just gave them the confidence, and didn't they? And I could imagine that they'll probably end up scoring quite early on in this. You probably would be close to your prediction if they get one in the first 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Watford, I can't really say much on them. Probably won't end up saying as much on them for the end of the season because they're as gone as what Norwich are, to be honest with you.
I just feel sorry for that Ismail Assar and Dennis lad. You know, 2 good players then.
I wouldn't mind seeing Dennis down the walls next season.
Yeah, he's a good one, isn't he?
Yeah. So I was probably a bit more in the mould of Adama in terms of a bit of raw pace and power, but he's definitely got more end product.
Tell you what, mate, you couldn't do worse getting both of them.
I think if we're going to sign one, we'll probably only go for the one winger. It depends how we're going to set up, to be honest with you, or whether we keep Trinko or anything. But I mean, we could be having Adama back at this rate. Because he ain't been playing for Barca.
He's not been playing for Barca, has he?
Nah.
He's not fancied him, has he?
But I don't think he wants to play for Wolves anymore. So it looks like you could see him in the Premier League someone else next season again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gone City 4-0 on this one. They're just, yeah, probably trying to play it a bit safer. I mean, like, there's not many people who made the bold prediction of 7 goals for one team, so usually, but I can't blame you. You know, you'll probably come closer than me. If it ends up at 6, then you'll be closer than me, won't you? So.
Well, we'll see. So, what's your tip then?
For Man City to score over 2.5 goals. So if they score 3 or more, wins. That's side of the bet.
Yeah.
If you're confident, like yourself, go for City to score over 4.5, 5.5.
Get good odds with that.
Yes, you get a decent one.
Right, on to the last of the 3 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday, which sees Norwich at home to Newcastle.
Well, like I mentioned, I probably mentioned in the last few shows that they've got a lot to play for. Norwich still. They've got a lot more to play for than Watford. I think Watford are more relegated than what Norwich are, if you catch my drift with that. Because there's just no hope for Watford for me on this one. But Norwich are putting up a bit of fight, aren't they? I suppose it was a bit of an harsh one on them against United the other week. But, you know, to go to Old Trafford, it don't matter what form United are in, to go and score 2 when you're the team that's destined for the drop.
and can't score goals anyway. Yeah. Well, I've got them to score.
I've had them to win.
You've got them to win?
I think they got them. I think Norwich, Newcastle aren't as good away from them, but they're going to be confident. Newcastle are going there. I think I did watch Newcastle, Watford, and I can't remember. I think Watford got a draw out of them when they just after they had the takeover, and I'm just not as convinced that Newcastle away from home. They're brilliant at home. Mm-hmm. But Norwich, you know, they just got to keep grinding out wherever they can, haven't they? And I think, you know, they could probably nick another one here. It could be one of the surprise results.
What are you saying, 1-0?
2-1 I've gone. Because Newcastle are capable of definitely knocking a goal in, so.
Yeah. And
Norwich haven't got the greatest defensive record, so.
Are you ready? Crazy mad end of season results. 4-1 Newcastle. Hey!
I can't wait to see your predictions on the last game of the season.
Oh, I'm going wild. Do you know what? I'm going wild because mine going normally and thinking about things.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be working.
I know. Yeah.
It's way
They'll all be 0-0 this week now.
I know, yeah, you know it. Like, I've gone too extreme.
He's a madman.
He's a madman. Right, so what's your tip for this madhouse?
The old favourite, both score, no draw. We're both win that one if we got our predictions on it.
Aye. Right, and on to the last of Saturday's fixtures, which is a 5:30 kickoff, which sees a really good game, in my opinion. Brentford at home to Tottenham. This will be tasty.
Brentford have been in great form, haven't they? And they've secured the second season in the Premier League now. So
Ericsson hosting his old team.
He is involved in the tip. But it's going to be a risky way. So it's not one for putting in the accumulator because, you know, it make... You're
going to put to score or assist?
You got it.
Yeah,
Ericsson
boy.
to score. The alternative to that, while you're writing that one down, I can see a penalty in the match for some reason. It could be that Brentford get that penalty and maybe they'll give it to Ericsson to take me the save, or, you know, never know. But then the more likely scenario, probably see Spurs get one and Kane taking it. So
yeah, it's probably most likely.
I just think with the way Spurs attackers are, like, and when they're on it, you know, you've got Kane, Son, and Kulusevski running at you. You've got a few rasher defenders, like especially Janssen. You know, he could easily take it.
Your mate Pontus.
Yeah, he scored the winner last week, didn't he?
I noticed.
But he pissed me off again last week because all I needed was a yellow card to win that over 2 goals, 10 corners and 3 cards.
Your Pontus, Janssen,
So he scored.
Agenda.
He scored, and it was in the 94th minute. You go running into the crowd, wouldn't you? Or take your shirt off, get booked for it. I was waiting for a card. Why didn't he get? Why didn't he go mad? So I was berating him again after that. Should have took his shirt off or something, or done a stage dive into the crowd.
To be honest, he can't win with you, can he?
No.
I've noticed. So what score are you going with?
I've gone for Spurs to win this one 3-1.
Ooh.
It's probably going to be the worst prediction I'll make this weekend because the Spurs are Spurs at the moment, and probably going to go on an Arsenal one now. I'll probably lose 3 on the bench themselves. But
I've gone 2-0.
Yeah, I can't argue any result, to be honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me if Brentford did win the game.
2-0.
That's what I mean. I can't argue any result, even if you had Brentford to win or a draw. Right. I just can't argue.
I thought you thought I'd said Brentford to win.
No. Right. Brentford to win 2-2. No, I couldn't tell you, Mad, but I just have a feeling that Spurs might just get a few decisions go the way in this one and try and keep it interesting for the league. You might see a referee agenda come out as well by next week. So, reminder.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Right, well, on to the first of the 2 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday, 24th of April, which sees the South Coast derbies, I suppose. Seaside towns, Brighton, Southampton.
Well, this is the one where I was thinking about changing it before we came on. Just checking the Southampton score now, see if anything's changed. Well, I think it still is 2-0 to Burnley. Because, it is 2-0 as it stands. I went for Saints to get a draw here at 1-1. I'll stick with it. Because even though Brighton have come up against 3 brilliant teams and got 6 points out of them. 3 brilliant performances against, 1 brilliant team and 2 decent teams. They're not very good at home, and they seem to struggle to score at home. I think they will score here. As I say, 1-1. But
okay, I've gone 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't got much to play for. They need to just express themselves a little bit, don't they?
I just think this is like their little South Coast derby kind of thing. They always seem to be quite tasty games.
Yeah.
So I just think there'll be goals in it, and I think it'll be a draw like you, but 2-2. So
to be fair, you should be. Yeah, they should look into that. To be fair, because it's not what I've tipped, but they're both dead rubber again. They ain't got nothing to play for. So, I've seen this with the Championship last week. I actually had the bet on the Championship, having a certain amount of goals, and I managed to get it. It was 34 goals in the Championship because most of them had nothing to play for. So, and when you get these type of games now, things open up. People don't really stick to their guns as much, do they? So, I've got, let's say, 1-1, and my tip is over 9.5 corners in the game. Reason being, I think you take Liverpool and City out of that equation. I think they're 2 most consistent teams to pick up corners.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
Especially
we see what's he called? Centre half for Southampton, who's been scoring quite a few lately. What's he called?
Bednarek.
Bednarek, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting a lot in there at the minute.
Yeah, I think they try and play for the corners, because obviously when you get someone like Ward-Prowse delivering them, then
he's magic, isn't he? Tell you what, you just sign him for what he can do on the ball. So yeah, I think it's fair results then. Really, a draw.
Yeah, it's not. It's probably Brighton fans will probably think that's a bit harsh, but the round form has been poor, so
yeah.
That's up to them to change that one, man. He's been poor for the last 2 years, to be honest with you.
Southampton got to show up sooner or later.
I don't know whether we'll see that this season again, to be honest, but we'll see.
Yep. Right, well, let's move on. Second of the 2 o'clock kickoffs on Sunday sees Burnley, who we've been talking about, at home to Wolves. So looking on the 2-0 currently as we're speaking, and Burnley, even if they picked up a draw, this is my thought process. I think it's going to be 1-1 before we start, because I think they know they've got to play. They've got to at least get a draw, but they're too clumsy to always get the job done. So I reckon they might go 1-0 up, and then I reckon late on, Wolves will equalise.
We've really struggled against these, especially at Turf Moor. We struggle to break them down at Molyneux, but then we get the odd result against them. It might be a draw or 1-0 or something like that, but we've really struggled at Turf Moor.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a good feeling about us for this one. Then I'd have said even if Burnley had won 4-0, they could still win 4-0 tonight. I'd just get a funny feeling. But we're one of them teams after an international break. If we go into one on a defeat, we'll come back with a win. If we go and win with a win, then we come back with a defeat. And so I've gone for us to win this one and to end that hoodoo. I'm still a bit sceptical about how they're going to perform in the long run of things. It might just be a little honeymoon period with the new management team. Now, I think they've all been there for a bit, haven't they? But obviously with them taking the reins now. But when we sort of, like, since we've been back in the Premier League, we've ended a lot of hoodoos we have.
Yeah.
And bad runs. Or should I say, since Nuno took over, so we ended a lot of bad runs when we was in the Championship. Like things like winning at Middlesbrough for the first time in God knows how many years.
Yeah, true.
And when I was growing up, we used to batter Burnley more than any other team. We used to beat them 3-4-0. And still, we've both become Premier League teams. We just can't seem to get the results against them. So, I've gone for us to win 1-0, I have.
1-0. Tense one. Tense 1-0. Right, so go on then. Tell us what your tip is for this then, Leroy. Because I think you're going to go under 2.5 goals.
I can't, because I always get it wrong. I could have said that. By the way, I will apologise. I said international. It wasn't international base because we missed the game, so it's made me think like we've gone an international break.
May as well have been.
Wolves double chance. So draw or
win.
If you're really confident, like from what I've just said of it, go for a Wolves win.
I think Wolves will definitely get a result. They're not going to lose.
If you was to say at any other point, maybe, or if Deutsch was there, I'd have probably said we would, because we just can't seem to get anything there. But we do play really poorly there as well. But we played dog shit usually there, so
yeah.
See if we can turn it around.
You could be right, but let's have a look. Well, let's see, shall us. Right, so the last of the 2 o'clocks on Sunday sees Chelsea at home to West Ham. This will be a good game.
I think I'd.
Not a good week of football, really. Some good games.
Yeah, some very interesting ones there, definitely. I think I've pretty much told you this one before. I didn't tell you the score, but I told you what was going to happen, didn't I? I think it'll be a draw in this one. Because West Ham's form away from home ain't brilliant, but the last away game they did play, they got a 3-0 win at Lyon. So
exactly.
And then Chelsea, home form's been horrific, making things hard for themselves. It's a far cry from the Mourinho days when they went about 4 or 5 seasons without losing at home, wasn't it? So,
yeah.
No, I shouldn't expect to see Chelsea losing the game. I know you've said different, haven't you? But
I have. 3-2 West Ham.
It'd be interesting. I sort of hope Chelsea do something, because then it probably propels us back into Europa League place if we win. So
yeah, well, and they lose.
Yeah, and they've been teetering on bad results, but then seem to be picking some up at the end of it. Down the West Ham, I was surprised to see them only take a point against Burnley, because I didn't expect Burnley to really pick up any more points again this season. But they obviously probably are going to tonight, and they have at West Ham, which is a good point.
I think you'll finish ahead of us.
It'd be a morale boosting statement to make if we did finish above United. But I always see it as one of them. We might be on around about the same points in the season, then the United probably just edge ahead. We have got Liverpool in last game, so that's probably.
Yeah, that'll put your nail in the coffin, won't it?
We still got to play City as well. Jesus Christ.
I think them two are going to go all the way to the end of the season and win every game, and it's going to be 1 point in it, like it was a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And it's
That'd
going
be more interesting.
everyone's with Liverpool with the better goal difference. That's my predictions now to the season, and they're going to feel really hard done by again. And to be honest, they should. They almost need to share it. It's crazy, isn't it?
I know. And it's been consistent. I know. What is it last season where Liverpool sort of like tailed off a bit earlier, didn't they? So
they didn't do very well last year.
Yeah, but you look at recent seasons, it's just been them two, hasn't it? Most of the time. Even when Brendan Rodgers was there, they pushed it to a certain extent.
They only just got fourth, didn't they, Liverpool? Or did they get third in the end? No, they got third late on, last game or something, wasn't it?
Was it United who got fourth at Leicester, was it? Was that last season?
Yeah.
I can't even remember, to be honest with you.
We got second last year, mate.
I was it last season you got second? That's probably what it was. I think of the season before, when because Lingard was there, so it was at West Ham last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it'd have been the season before, so I remember Lingard scoring right at the end.
That's right.
But yeah, I've gone 2-2 on this one. Both teams have scored, been the two.
Okay. Right, on to the last of the Sunday games, which is the 4:30, which sees the Merseyside derby, Liverpool at home to Everton.
Well, if Everton get anything out of this, it'd be the shock of the season for any team, I think.
Everton may as well just go to sleep or something, because they're going to get absolutely tater-totted. I've never seen, honestly, you're going to see more goals.
You could have put any 19 teams there in front of me, and if I was at home to Everton, I'd have had them to beat Everton. even Watford, because Everton's away form
is non-existent. It's pointless.
Oh,
May as well stay in a hotel, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going 6-0.
I've gone 4-0 Liverpool.
I think they're going to absolutely tater him, mate. I do.
They probably want to, don't they?
Yeah, but Liverpool, just watching how they carved United open, and Everton, even though they turned up against United, they're way worse.
Yeah. They are. It's been an awful season from the away form. Definitely hasn't helped. If they've had a little bit of away form, it's just been a poor season, but it's been a dreadful season. If they go down, it's an horrific season. So.
Exactly. Oh.
For a team that's ambitions to be in the Champions League, to be where they are, and then I can only imagine people like Richarlison, whatever happens, will probably be
desperate to get gone in, mini, I bet.
Yeah, they ain't going to want to stay down that end of the table, And even the ones that haven't performed, like maybe Calvert-Lewin, I know he's had his injury issues, he probably won't want to stay there with it.
No, I think Jordan Pickford.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. He does look a frustrated figure, but I suppose when you got that defence in front of you all the time, then.
Yeah, he's going to be, ain't you?
Yeah.
Exactly. So go on then. What's your tip for this magical game?
Same as the City one, really, but you'd say if you're more confident and
over
Liverpool to score over 2.5. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then, on to the finale of the week, which is Monday night, which sees Crystal Palace at home to Leeds at 8 o'clock kickoff.
Palace lost, I think it's the last 3, isn't it, if you include the FA Cup game. Obviously, we did mention the issues that we're putting up with Conor Gallagher against Chelsea. I think, like, their own form is just, they seem to get, I think they love a Monday night game, don't they, at Selhurst Park? It seems to be a lot of them on their Monday night there. Yeah, I think they get really up for it.
They tend to do all right on a Monday night as well, but
yeah,
so do this team, Leeds. There's less pressure. on a Monday night for some reason.
Yeah. Well, if results go Leeds' way, then you'll see more confidence for them there, don't you? I've been really harsh on Leeds this season. I've probably had them to lose most seasons, but it's just...
You have? Tight gets. I'm a United fan and I've wished for better fortunes for them.
Yeah,
and as well. 3-2
I like Leeds as a... I like Leeds as a club, but there's probably something where when I see the team sheet, something don't fill me with confidence about their defence.
I know.
When
they score goals, and that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
All it takes is Meslier to pull off a few blinders, which he does most weeks anyway, and Harrison, Rafinha, and Rodrigo to score 3 goals.
Oh, they've definitely got it up top, definitely. I think Rodrigo's really underrated for the way he produces the teams. We all know what Rafinha's capable of. I think even Dan James has had his little outlets for it. He seems to have settled in quite well there.
He's looked a lot better for them, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's amazing by any stretch. I thought he's really poor. You know, it is way out of his depth there, but he has got pace to burn, and he seems to be a bit more direct in his decision making.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Leeds in the 2 away games under Marsh, you know, if we'd have had 11 men on the pitch against them, we'd have comfortably won that game. And then they've gone and won against the worst team in the division in Watford. So it's going to be a tough ask to go and get something against Palace, who are good at home. But don't put anything against it. But I have gone for Palace to win 2-0 on this one.
2-0? Not even scoring?
No, I think they've been quite solid defensively at home, haven't they? Be tough, but
3-2
Leeds can score. 2-0 lead.
3-2 Leeds.
A 3-2 lead. I hope for there to be goals, isn't it? Yeah. It's Monday night game. It's the only game on the day. You want to see a lot of goals, don't you?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah. So go on then. Finish yours off with the tip for this week.
It's the one that started it, so it's the same as the Arsenal United. Yeah.
45 booking points. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think there's a couple on each team that like to give a good kick into the other one. So that's what I was going to mention. When they played at Ellen Road, there was 9 bookings in that game. So there must be a bit of blood there. I will say properly, bad blood.
Bad blood. Hey, bad blood.
Yeah, I don't know who the ref is to this one, but it's down in England. So, it'll be interesting. You know, he can, again, a bit like Craig Pawson, really, he blows hot and cold. He'd have a quiet game and then book everyone if he wants to.
Decide get really card happy. Yeah.
Yeah, so that concludes it then, mate.
That concludes our week then, bud. Excellent. So hope we've come up with some decent tips there for you, or Leah, should I say, and our score predictions. Maybe get somewhere in between us. You might be right.
Oh, well, if we're going by your score predictions, I'm definitely going on there to try and get 40 plus goals in the Premier League this week.
Oh, I tell you what, do you want me to add up how many goals I've put in this week?
3, 9,
10, 20. 48 goals.
Yeah, 40 plus goals. I'm going to have a look on Sky Bet. I'm going to have a look on Sky Bet for that. That is immense. That is.
Go for it. I'm going to go for it.
I'll have a look, and I'll have a look when we go offline now. So obviously we don't know all the viewers with looking at our phones, but leave in the comments, Tim, if you do.
Brilliant. Right, well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Click on the bell button to keep up to date with our notifications coming through. And yeah, I hope everything works out for you. And if you're choosing to listen to us, but they're only tips and predictions. Football's a mysterious game, and everything doesn't tend to go according to plan. But if you stay sensible with stuff, you can win little bits, and that tends to make you a lot of money. Don't try and go big in one go. No one ever wins. It's like a lottery, then, isn't it?
It is.
You know, So, but yeah, thanks very much, guys. Nice to see you all, and nice to see you, Leroy. And
yeah, mate.
And I'll see you soon. Take it easy.
See you later.
Try, guys. Bye.